The Adventures of Super Sons, number 1, written by Peter Tomasi, art done by the other guy. Damn it.
Really well with this one.
Carlo Barberi. Carlo, that other guy. His parents didn't really care much for him. They're like, what do you want to call this one? We got Jim, the other guy. Hey, all you comic book readers and true believers. It's Tuesday, and your friendly neighborhood comic guy, Mitch Harmon. You guys know what's up. Mitch's Picks. Robots vs. Princess, number 1, written by Todd Matthey, art done by Nicholas Chapus. This story focuses on 2 different people, Zara, the princess, and Wheeler, the robot. Zara is a princess who has to go through her coronation, initiation, whatever, basically to become an official princess. All of her sisters have already done this, and they need to have an animal with it. Zara, who very much fawns dragons, decides to go into the Forbidden Forest to find one. Cut to Wheeler. Decimatrons and Centurions Decimators and Centurions are constantly at war, and Wheeler just wants to get away from it, so he goes in the Forbidden Forest. If you couldn't tell, they kind of do meet up, but somehow her magical song, when she goes into the forest trying to lure a dragon out, changes Wheeler from a robot to robot dragon kind of thing, and pretty much they make a pact. She'll change it back to normal and let him live in the castle if he helps her get through her initiation. This is a new series coming out of Dynamite Comics. It's a very kid-friendly book, but it has a little bit of interesting whimsicalness as well, guys. Definitely recommend this, guys. Pick it up. Infinity Wars, number 1, written by Jerry Dugan, art done by Mike Deodato Jr. For those of you who have not read Infinity Wars Prime, you should, because it's great. But for those of you who haven't, spoiler alert, there's something that big happens in that kind of plays out in this one as well. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. For those of you who haven't read, just mute for the next 3 seconds. Thanos got his head cut off by Requiem. Requiem seems to be someone who is very, very interested in gathering the stones. And so when Doctor Strange asked all the keepers of the Infinity Stones to come and begin their new Infinity Watch to try to keep it out of Thanos' hands, they're visited by none other than Requiem, who happens to show them that not only is Thanos dead, but now Requiem is going around to trying to collect all the stones. Plus, in this issue, you also get to figure out who Requiem is. This is the beginning issue of 6 parts, I believe, of the Infinity Wars, which is going to be taking place for the rest of the summer, I believe, and rolling into fall and into winter as well. This is the big one, guys. You definitely don't want to miss this one. Check it out. Adventures of Super Sons, number 1, written by Peter Tomasi, art done by Carlo Barberi. For those of you that have been following the Super Sons series, knows that it is done, and also John is in space. Well, that's why this 12-part maxi series takes place in between the end of Super Sons and the first Superman annual, which is where Jor-El comes back to Earth, or has been on Earth the entire time, takes John and Lois into a vacation in the stars, whatever. That's Superman's story. This is Super Sons, and Damian and John are both out of school, and they're getting ready to kick off their superhero summer vacation just right. That is until they get interrupted by this new group called the Gang, and it's all kid versions of the Legion of Doom, kind of. You have Kid Lex Luthor, goes by Rex Luthor. You got Kid Deadshot. There's a young Captain Cold. It's all in there. There's Joker Jr., which apparently has some history, but I'm not entirely sure on that one. But this is a maxi series, 12 parts, taking place in between Super Sons 16 and the Superman annual. And it looks like there is an introduction of a new The Gang, as they're calling themselves. So definitely want to pick this one up, guys. Check it out. Leviathan, number 1, written by John Layman, art done by Nick Batara. In this book, Ryan is just your everyday average guy throwing a party at his apartment and went out to go get some beer. Well, his party mates aren't exactly very well entertained, so Goth Josh, it's a weird name, he does some type of weird seance and then summons a Leviathan. And then the Leviathan then goes through the city starting to destroy everything. There is a small love interest in here. Vivian seems to be Ryan's love interest. It kind of seems pretty cliche, but it's got a good humor. It's from the writer of Chew and the artist of Manhattan Projects, so you know it's going to be a very, at least interesting book, if not, if anything, just a all-around spectacular thing, guys. Definitely want to pick it up. Check it out. From the new publishing company, Bad Dog Comics, comes Stone Ninja, number 1, written by Gabriel Duranzo, art done by Greg Cravens. I'm sure everyone's heard of the Drunken Master. what if there was such a thing as the Stoned Ninja? He goes around basically trying to take down mafioso bosses who are pushing their drugs against, trying to advocate against using holistic healing methods and such and whatnot. Also against big pharmaceuticals who get politicians into their pockets to help push their pharmaceutical drugs as opposed to going to more natural products as well. This is a new series coming out of Bad Dog Comics, which is a brand new publishing company. I'm not sure how many issues he has planned, but this first one is pretty interesting. And like I said, it takes on multiple different factions in this one, guys. Definitely want to check this out. That's all my picks for this week, everyone. Keep reading your comics, true believers. See you guys next week.